Hey guys, I'm gonna show you a possible fix for waiting for publication. As you see right now, it's working right now. For some reason it shouldn't be working, but it's working. So just imagine this is waiting for publication. So the fix I did uh, was I went to my router. Here, right? Here, I'll show you. I think it's tied to the DHCP setting. So if we go to my router right now, this is what I did. I don't know if this is for sure, but this is a worth a try. Okay. So you guys want to go to your modem page, router page. How you can find this address is by going to your open network and internet settings, view hardware, and see your adapter, network adapter. Mine is the Ethernet, so it is this default gateway. You copy this and you put it here. Okay. So what I did was I went to my Ethernet selection to see my, network. And so this is my main PC that I'm on, and this is my other PC that I use for hosting the server. So when I was playing around, I found out that if I put this PC to 10, it would work. It would like publish the server and everything be working correctly. Somehow this started working, even though like 3 tries ago when I was like playing around with the settings it didn't work, but now it's working, and I'll show you how to do it possibly. So primarily for this one, this had the troubles. So what I did was I went to my router's advanced tools and settings, but I went to the DHCP. You can find it on your router. It should be there. I think it's fucking like 100% on every router, unless it's like fucking from 100 years ago. So what I did was I looked the IP address range, and I connected my Ethernet. I made a static IP at the start of the basically the start number of my IP range. So -10 for you and maybe like 50 or 100, but you just want to pick the first number you see. So for me, I would look for IP address range, the start, and 10. So what we're gonna do is, once you get the number, let's say yours 10 here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go right click on our Ethernet adapter, open network and internet settings, change adapter options, Ethernet, properties. We're gonna go to internal protocol version 4, TCP IP v4. Gonna go here, check mark these. We're gonna do 192.168.2 and 10. So autofill. This is your default gateway, 192.168.2.1, 192.168.2.1. You basically copy this down here, and you can just leave this blank. How you can figure out, these settings is by doing ipconfig, and you'll check it doing it this way. I'm not gonna change this because I don't want to right now. So what you would do is, I'll fucking change it anyways for you boys. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna validate, click this, okay, okay. It's gonna look, but since the 10 is being used by my server browser, my other PC that is hosting the server, it won't work. But this goes for the same as if it's using the port, the 10. Let's say like you have another computer using the 10 IPv4 address, it won't work, it won't show up. But let's say it's not being used, so you would just close and it would work. And then, if you want to reset, you just go click here, and boom. Okay, now it works. Okay, so after that you will do again ipconfig, and you will see a 10 here, but we didn't change it because it's being used up by another PC. Okay, so let's say after you did that, you know, you would have to go here, change it and change it to a new one. And okay, so you changed the IP address, this one, this whole thing, to your computer that you're gonna host a server on, and it should be working now. Let me log in again. When you're gonna change this, you gotta go back to your port forwarding and actually port forward again. Change the local IP address since you changed it. Bada bing, bada bing. And if you can like go check on your devices. Go to your Ethernet selection, and you can see this is my reserved one. This is what I have on this PC, and it works for some reason. But basically what you gotta do is you gotta set up a static IP. But for some reason, when I like did it different on this one, on my server PC, it wasn't working. I needed to set it to 10. This is actually a wrong number, it's not showing, but I have it configured to 10. So yeah, it's for me, my provider says it's static IP. I'll show you right now. So if we go to my other PC that I'm actually gonna be hosting the servers on, as you see, it's running. And what I did, I did the same thing. I went to here, I went to properties, and I changed it to 10 because this is my IP start range, the first IP. And I validate. You can do this again. You can cancel this. Doesn't matter. It'll just work. Okay. And after you get this set up, it will be working. And this will be available now. Okay. So some things to point out. Okay, let's see if my servers are up. Okay. So let's start up Arc. The only problem I face while doing this is, well, first, I'm hosting off this piece right now. I'm hosting these two servers that you see right now, the Island and Vilgaro test servers. The problem I face is when I have a static IP on this, which is like 192.168.250. This is the one you see right now. I don't know if it's gonna work for you, but for me, since we're using the private IP right now, and you can't connect to a public IP. No, wait. When you're joining a server that you're hosting from, no, let me make this. Let me read it in my brain real quick. If you're trying to join, if you're hosting the server from your gaming PC, let's say this is my gaming PC right now. If you're hosting a server from your gaming PC and you're playing, while hosting it at the same time, and you try to join your server from the unofficial list, it won't work. Because what you're doing is you're on the unofficial list, it's your public IP. And for some reason you can't join from your public IP. You know how you try to favorite your server through Steam and you by accident use the public IP and after your query and it doesn't work and you have to put your 192.168 IP, which is your private IP, and then it will work. So that's the reason. So if you want to play on the server, you would have to go to Steam and favorite it. So let's say I want to play on the server, the test. because we can't join because it's on a public IP. So what we're gonna need to do is gonna go to servers, add one. We're gonna use our private IP because we can't use our what you call it. So now, oh fuck, didn't do vulgar, but see. So if you join this same exact server on the unofficial list, it wouldn't work because you're using the public IP to join the server, which you can't do if you host it on your same on the server. You can still join, but if you're like making a cluster, it's very janky. Yeah, it's very janky in the way of like when you try to transfer to a server in your cluster, you would have basically a timeout message because it won't work because you're basically joining from the public IP. And I heard that like clusters only use your public IP to join. You can't like favorite it and after it will appear in your cluster servers as the favorite IP. It only works with public IP. So what's the problem is when you like try to transfer to a different server, it gives you like a timeout connection, and it won't allow you. But you just download your server. I mean, you download your character, and then you'll have to leave that server, and then you'll have to join the server you want to transfer to and download your character, which is a problem because it's not fun. But what you can do is you can have let's say you're using an Ethernet connection to host the server, but then you have a Wi-Fi connection that you like use to like play the game, and you can like transfer um, nicely. You don't have to do this bullshit, and it will work because you're using basically a different IP address because you have the Ethernet connected to your computer that is hosting the server, but you have like a Bluetooth Wi-Fi that is using a different IP, a different private IP. So you're basically using your private IP to join the public IP. Hopefully that made sense. Basically, you can't use your private IP to join up the same server that is using the private IP through unofficial list. But for me, I have a second PC that I host my servers on. And that second PC is using a different IP, private IP port. So I can basically just join easily, and because, I'm using a different private IP than the server that's hosting it. So let me show you. See now, boom. Create new survivor. Bada bing, bada boom. This server's on my other PC. Let's transfer now. Boom. See how I'm transferring? It's because my second PC that's hosting the server is using a different IP address, different private IP address. That's the difference. This is IP address 192.168.2.50, and the ones that serving hosting the server is 192.168.2.10. So that's why it's working nicely. Download. Take 3 shits. Okay. I hope this helped you out, guys. I spent, what is it, like 3 days, you know, basically working all day, all night, researching forums and fucking, you know, going down the rabbit hole of fucking Google and shit, searching every forum to find information about this. And I got everything up and running, thankfully and finally. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, if you guys wanna if you guys want me to make a updated video on how to start up a server A to Z, that's from downloading the server files to running it fully, just comment below if you guys want to see that video, how to port forward, which is pretty easy. Or if you guys want to DM me, so if you need any help troubleshooting your server or like setting some things up, I can do that. But yeah, I hope this is gonna help you. And let me show you a tool real quick that I use to check my ports, which is very nice. I'm gonna link it below in the description so you guys can download it. It's a free trial, and I think it doesn't run out, but basically it's all you need for free. You can set your static IP address to port checker, but this is basically the only thing I use. It's really accurate. You can use TCP and UDP and it works 100%. So yeah, DM me on Discord if you guys need any help. Leave a comment below if you guys want me to make some guides for our server manager, and I hope this helped you out. Thank you for watching. Hey guys, I just want to make something clear right now. Right here is the server I'm running on my gaming PC, and it's not showing up on the LAN, right? So I said you can probably fix this by like adding like connecting to a Wi-Fi if your PC has a built-in Wi-Fi, or using like a Wi-Fi USB to like use the Ethernet or even the Wi-Fi, but like separated the two. So like use the Ethernet to host the server and use the Wi-Fi to like, you know, play and like, you know, do other shit. But I'm having this PC has this problem. I can probably fix it, and this is the fix I do. So, you know, if you have a problem like this, I think it's worth just, you know, going to your, like, where you place the files. Let's say I want to fix this problem, right? I will, like, delete these, two, files. I made this file right here, but you know, if you didn't make the files and customize them, you'll probably just have, like, ARC server data or something. But you will delete every file that's associated with Arc Server Manager. So for me, these two. This holds my maps. And then go to your program files or wherever you put the Arc Server Manager and delete this whole thing. After you deleted all of this, you would go to Windows Defender Firewall. You would go to, you know, you can go to Control Panel, System and Security, Windows Defender Firewall. You would go to Advanced Settings. You would go to, what you call it? Wait, no. Here, my bad. You would go to restore default settings. After you do that, what I do is I do this network reset now, and after restart your computer. After that, you know, reinstall, you know, Arc Server Manager. Make sure to put your Arc Server Manager. It doesn't matter if you put it on your C drive. Just put it. This is what you have to do. You have to do Arc Server Manager in its own file, and then it will make the Steam CMD file, and you want to keep them separate. So like put your folder in a like put the Steam CMD. It's gonna create its own folder, but if it doesn't, just make a Arc Server data folder and put all your Steam CMD. And I think servers don't matter. Like you can have your servers in here or outside. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, I just wanted to make a quick note of that. Again, I'm having this problem. You're here. I didn't mention this. Oh, maybe I did. I don't know. I fucking haven't slept. What you basically want to have is your server want to appear in the LAN. If you want to if you just want to like play like solo, just your own cluster of servers. Because if you want to play on my computer right now, for example, you would have, not a good time transferring over to the servers. So you basically want to have your servers here on the LAN page, and then it will work. Okay, well, hope that clears some things up.